Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another YouTube Live. It is the 8th of August, and in front of you, you should be looking at the Forex Factory calendar. Please just type in yes for me if you can hear me nice and clearly, and you can see the Forex Factory calendar. We have, in terms of news today, let's have a look. Trade balance at 230. Nope, that's gone by. Not a great deal out. Nothing today that's going to stop me from entering any trades. But just as a reminder, I'm not in any pound trades, and I won't be until next week. I'm going to let the market just settle down a little bit, and just let the market settle down a little bit and see if we find some structure support, some resistance, whatever it may be, and we'll take a fresh look at the pound pairs next week. So good morning, Peter, Mikkel, said. Good morning, everybody. I'll just give it a few minutes because I did just notice that there was I set up two events by mistake on YouTube, and I'm not too sure if some people are still in the other event, but what will happen is it will pop up on the phone to say that YouTube is live, and hopefully they'll click on that and come over to here. And what happens is, if anybody does YouTube live, when you actually set up an event and you end up pressing back on a certain page, it duplicates the event. And I remember that's what I did yesterday, and I've just noticed there's two events. So we'll just give it a minute for people to join. Good morning, Anthony. So nothing on the news front. Has anybody got anything planned for today, tomorrow, or even the weekend? Are you doing any back testing, any forward testing, anything not to do with Forex? Working, relaxing. I'm going to be relaxing. My wife's sister went home yesterday, took her to the airport. She was here for a week with her son. So the wife's downstairs currently cleaning the bedroom, ready for the next phase of family and friends to come over, which is in about 2 weeks. I've got my sister coming out with her husband, who is from Australia, and their 2 kids. And then I've got a holiday booked a week after that. So just as a reminder, guys, I won't be here. I actually leave on the Saturday and I'm back on the Saturday, but it'll be 5 working days I'm away. And I'm going to double check it, but I think I'll leave on the 24th of August. So another 2.5 weeks yet, but I'm gone for a week. I'm hoping that I will still be able to do the quick hit review videos, but there won't be any YouTube live. It depends how good the internet is on the ship. Peter says he's going to be backtesting. What is it you're backtesting, Pete? Structure, breakout patterns, advanced patterns, counter trend. Let me know what you're going to be testing. So what we're going to do is we're going to start looking at some currency pairs, just to make you aware that the purpose of this room is to review the opportunities that meet the rules outlined in the educational material at freeforexeducation.co.uk. And just before we look at that, as I say, I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes just to see if a few more people roll in. Just going to load the Euro Pound. Euro Pound tested structure highs, which is just here. So this at this point would now have been a break-even trade if we'd not if we'd not got stopped out by 2 pips, and we will see if we get the push higher up to the higher structure level. My feeling is that we will, and that will make 6 trades in 2 weeks that stopped me out by a couple of pips. But we won't talk about that now. We're going to be positive, and we're going to look at a few currency pairs, and we'll start off on the Aussie dollar CAD. Peter says, beast pound yen rallying. I'm going through my multi-time frame as I would normally, slowly day by day, week by week, etc. Help with RES and such as anything. Yep, you got to put the reps into the market. It's I suppose you can look at trading as it's not one of those jobs that somebody can just tell you these are the rules. learn them, and then you'll be a trader. You've got to put the hours into the backtesting. You've got to have chart time, because it's that chart time that gains you the experience. The thing with trading is that no setup is exactly the same. There's always going to be a different structure level. There's always going to be a different candle formation. There's always going to be something on one time frame that tells you can't buy or sell, whereas the other time frame tells you can buy or sell. So there's always going to be small differences, and that's what makes trading subjective, and that's where the experience comes in. So it's it's absolutely crucial you put the chart time in, and you get to see many different trade setups, because ultimately it'll be that will decide whether or not you can or cannot enter the trade. Obviously you do need to follow the rules as well. So we did look at this Aussie dollar CAD yesterday. You can see we still had the drawings out, and I said it's not going to be a flag because it's not forming the correct way, but we could see an alternate flag here. And those of you that knows what the rules are, we basically look for around 80 to 90% of the candles stuck in a channel, and we just move pretty much in one direction. And that's what happened. And I was looking to see, we may have got a 15-minute double top. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. We didn't. We held off, and price just rallied up. And so no entry on this alternate flag, but this would have been an alternate flag for me. Very directional move. Look at all these candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 candles. 12 bullish candle, guys. Is that a sign or what that there was buying pressure down here? So as we go to the daily time frame, now I don't have enough data loaded here, but there was an area down here where we could have seen the market reverse, and that's exactly what we did. But look yesterday at this great big spike. We're still seeing some unusual movement. So this is the size of that candle, and if we zoom out and get a little bit of perspective as to how big that candle is, well, we actually have to come all the way back to this candle, which was December. What year though? Okay, minimum, yep, December. We have to come back to this point. So 8 months ago was when we saw a move that big. So lots and lots of buying pressure down here. We could see a move now up into this level. We did have the RSI that went massively oversold down here at 13, and we are seeing a pop to the upside. Let's go and take a look at the 240. On the 240, there was no valid opportunity here. We had this retest, and then we came down with a big bearish momentum candle and instantly sucked all the way back up with 3 big bullish green candles. So here on the 240, you could look at this as though this was a fake break. Big momentum candle followed by 1, 2, 3 big bullish candles, and they actually made a higher high, higher close. So my impression here is, just looking at the market, is that we're probably going to see a continuation higher. I have no confirmation of that, but just because of the fake break and the daily and the fact that we're seeing a very large move to the upside, we could see a continuation here. You know by now that I like to form a bias on each of the currency pairs and on each of the time frames, and that bias sometimes is a bias without confirmation, and so there's no confirmation that we're going to go higher, other than the fact that we have actually violated this high here. But just look at the candles, and this type of rally followed by sideways movement is an indication to me that we could see a continuation. Now unfortunately this does not meet any of my breakout pattern rules, so it's not going to be something I can get involved with, but we will drop down the time frames and take a closer look. Maybe there's something on the 15, maybe. If you guys have anything on the Aussie dollar CAD, please let me know. It doesn't look as though there's going to be anything valid here for me. Okay, let's just go back to 60 a second. Right, what you could have, and it would be on the 15, and we're going to need extra confirmation for this, is we have to draw it out on the closes of the candles, and the closes of the candles are like this after this double top. We may see a triangle, but what we're missing is this key part here in the middle. So this would be one touch up here, this would be two. You would have expected the third to be here, so we're going to have to move that over to here. If we get a third touch here, we'll then be waiting for the market to pull back for a potential fourth touch. Now it's going to be pretty ugly. The reason for that is we've got this great big gap in the middle here, which I do not like. So I don't think this is going to meet the rules, but we're going to wait. We're going to wait, see if it holds the structure level, reverses, and then gives us some form of confirmation down here that this could be a triangle. We will take a quick look at the 5 as well. See what's going on the 5. Nothing here for me in the 5. Let me just have another look at the 60. Here on the 60. Yeah, the problem is here on the 60 we don't have, if you're drawing this out based on the closes of the candles, it's looking like that. So we're just going to have to wait on this one, guys. It's not forming the way I would like, but we've got a beautiful swing in the market. Look at all this buying pressure. So I would love for this to be some form of entry. Targets, as always, you guys know by now, swing high to swing low. Looking at that 127. If this is valid for you and we do get a move down to here with an entry, there's a good 58 pips up for grabs on that potential trade. Any questions on the Aussie dollar CAD, guys? We were making new lows, and so we did see a very big bounce from this area, and we could see, yeah, some decent upside here. That's my thought. Whether or not we get it, I'm not too sure, but I think that we could see some upside on the Aussie dollar CAD. I'm going to move that out the way, and we will take a look at the Aussie dollar. What did we speak about last time? Okay, we spoke about this. We had this very big bearish breakout. You can see all the bearish pressure here. And I said that when we tend to break major structure is an area that's been tested a minimum of 3 times for me, or we see a major reaction. Typically when we pull back into it, it's going to act as major resistance. Now that didn't happen. Instead, we just violated, pulled back, and I was actually looking at this highlighted area here as a key area to get short. That didn't happen. We just violated. So let's go and take a look at the higher time frame. Okay. If you remember, guys, when we spoke about this yesterday, I'd put a structure level on at this wick, and I said this was a major area which has seen a major reaction in the past. And I said we need to be very careful here, because I think we were trading around down here, weren't we? And I was saying that this could very well suck all the way back up, and we could hold this major structure level. Did also say, look at the RSI, massively oversold here at 12, and that's exactly what happened. And this is a prime example of why we wait for confirmation. We have to wait for the close of the candle, because the 240 had the confirmed break below, close below, but on the daily we didn't, and we've now seen that big pin bar. So even though there's no confirmation, there's no higher high, higher close, there's no double bottom, there's nothing like that, my bias now is long. Minimum, absolutely minimum this area. Even to be honest with you, I would look that we could see the market come up to potentially the middle level just up here. The reason for that is we've come into a major level of structure, we've seen a major rally, and we've seen a very big pin bar followed by a lot of RSI confirmation, massively oversold. We could see a bigger move up to potentially this midpoint here. So as we drop down the time frames, unfortunately it means that there's going to be no trading opportunity, because here on the lower time frame, the 240, we've had the confirmed break below, close below. So conflicting signals here, and my bias here is long. So let's drop down to the 60. Not a great deal here on the 60. There's not even any type of head and shoulders, no reversal pattern, there's just nothing. Nothing at all. Let's drop down to the 15. Still nothing. You had a move higher here. Nope, this wasn't any form of breakout pattern either. Let's remove that. Has anybody got anything on the Aussie dollar? As I say, my bias here is just long. It is just long. We had a move higher, a pullback, a move higher, a pullback, a move higher, a pullback. I'm now expecting a move higher. So a currency pair where we formed a bias, where I think we have a high probability of going quite higher, but no confirmation, so no trading opportunity for me. So we will move on to the next currency pair, which is the Euro Aussie. And if you guys have any questions, please chuck them in the chat. I'm quite happy to go over anything. There's not too much setting up, to be honest, particularly with me not having any pound opportunities. I'm out of those trades for the rest of the week. Okay, let's just take this from the top and we will look at the dailies. Okay, I am going to load a little bit more data here because we did talk about this last time. I'm going to load 3000. That loaded quick, that's good. Okay, structure level on here. On the last webinar I spoke about the fact that we were at the highest point we've been for around, I think it was 6 years, was it? 5 or 6 years. And as we zoom in, I was saying that we need to watch what happens here. And just like we've seen on the Aussie dollar, great big spike. Look at the size of this spike. 222 pips. And I said we need to be cautious because we could see a reversal. We could see a hold at this level. Morning, Stuart. And I did say that when we come up to areas that haven't been tested for a long period of time, and we spoke about this at length in the last webinar, we want to be very cautious because we're in territory that hasn't been tested for, well, here for about 5 or 6 years on the Euro Aussie. Aussie dollar CAD 11-year lows, we've seen a massive spike bullish. Aussie dollar, we've seen a massive spike bullish because we were at new lows there as well. And this is what can sometimes happen, so this is why we wait for confirmation. But look at the size of this rejection candle. We did have the RSI confirmation as well, went massively overbought there at 86. I'm actually expecting now, guys, a very big retracement. So I have no confirmation of that, but major highest point we've been for about 5 years. Major rejection wick up here of 220 pips, the RSI confirmation. I would expect to see quite a deep retracement here. Let's go and look at the 240. I'm going to have to remove as well. I've got 3000 candles loaded instead of my 1000, so when this page refreshes, guys, I'm just going to remove that. Otherwise it'll just run slow like it is. We're just saying, Stuart, I'm just as confirmation, I'm not in any pound trades. I'm just going to let the market settle down. And we were just talking about some of the other currency pairs, how we started to see some big rejections at those major lows or those major highs, as is the case here on the Euro Aussie. Unfortunately, while my bias is long or short on these currency pairs, it's not providing any opportunities. So it'll be good to let the markets kind of find their feet. Here on the 240, you can see that we violated and we're pulling lower. You could look at a potential head and shoulders here. We could see something like this type of movement. I would say that because we're at those 5 or 6 year highs and we've got that big rejection candle, that if you get an initial structure low here and a pullback, you could be a little bit more aggressive with the entry on this potential head and shoulders. So this head and shoulders here, we've violated this structure level. We didn't hold structure. However, because again we're at those major highs, we've got that major rejection, and we could see a very big retracement here of several hundred pips as a minimum In fact, probably a lot more. You could see a retracement here of maybe 460 pips. This could be an opportunity where you could be a little bit more aggressive. But when you are aggressive, you also want the flip side where you still want to be more conservative. And the more conservative approach would be waiting for a rotation pattern up in this left shoulder, up at this 6600 psychological number. So going into next week, I'm hoping that we're going to violate this structure level. We're going to see a pullback and it's going to provide us an entry. I'm going to be playing for a complete retest of this level down here. Let's go and take a look at the 60s. So on the 60, just let me reload this template. Not too much here on the 60. You can see that we had the move lower, the pullback, the move lower, the pullback, the move lower, the pullback. So we're trending here, but again, there's no higher time frame confirmation. But you know, we're at those very 5 or 6 year highs, and we just could see a big reversal here. Let's go to the 15. And I'm hoping come next week, a lot of these currency pairs are going to find structure levels. We're going to see some holds. We're going to see some reversals. We're going to see structure being held at some points and see some form of confirmation. It's pretty ugly, this, to be honest with you. There's nothing here. There's no type of breakout pattern. There's no flag. No trend continuation for me. I'm just going to wait, see what the market does. So this is going to be a currency pair for next week. We'll take a quick look at the 5. You never know. Euro Aussie does have a big ATR. Not too much, guys. So really, this is going to be for next week. We'll see if we do get that move lower, the pullback, the double top. But for now, if there's no questions on the Euro Aussie either, I'm going to move that to the side. And we will move over to the Euro Yen. Okay, so this is the drawings from last time. You can see that we had this based on the closes of the candles, and just let me know, guys, what you could see just here. What did we do? So we know that if we draw this out based on the closes of the candles, duplicate it and move it down, this structure level gives us an equal distance up here to here. And so it gives us a defined structure zone and tells us whether or not structure is held. So just let me know, guys, type in the chat, what did we actually do here which would invalidate this setup? And Stuart says it will come back and start playing by the rules. We often see the markets go wild every now and again. Couldn't agree more. Break below, close below. Exactly, Stuart. So a violation of this level. What we have done is we've now pulled up. We saw a small retracement though, and another new high. So you still could see a move to the upside here, but this was not a valid opportunity for me. We violated structure. Second of all, we'd retraced too deep. We'd come down into an 886. And while very occasionally this does happen for a flag, it just isn't valid for me. So that's what we looked at in the last webinar. Out on the dailies on the Euro Yen. So structure level on at the close of the candles and at the wicks, and we spoke about this internal level of structure and how the RSI was oversold here as well at 14, and how we could see a pop to the upside. I am still expecting price to come up to, as a minimum, this outside return just here. So I'm still expecting a move higher here. Let's go and look at the 240. I knew what you meant, Stuart. So we have a couple of things here though, guys. This is one for next week as well. So let me know what you guys see. Up here, I can see there's a swing in the market. I can see there's a directional move. And we can see a couple of things here. We could see a very large breakout pattern, which just so happens to come into the wicks for our fourth touch up here. Next we could have, I'm not too sure if it's a Gartley or back pattern, but it's looking like a Gartley X to A to B, B to C, CD completion just up here as well. And so we could see a breakout here to the downside. Now this is a very large potential channel, and I do say that these can offer opportunities to get involved at the test down here. One of the key things you're looking for is you're looking for a directional move for the pole, and second of all you're looking for rotation patterns within the channel. It's a sign that we could start seeing us adhere to a channel. So it says it hits the 61.8. Okay, there we go. That's great, because that adds to the confluence for this structure level just here. So as we drop down the time frames, and we can start looking for rotation patterns to give us some sort of confirmation that the market could be adhering to these trend lines. Now there's nothing here on the 60. As we go down to the 15, I think it was this one, it may be a different one. No, it was this one. Okay, so guys, let me know, what do you see here? What do you see here? What do you also see here? Let me know what these are that I've just highlighted. There's three of them, one here, and there's a different one just here. What are they, guys? Nice winning head and shoulders there. Did it pull back for a 26.18? Nope, it fell short. That's one of the very few winning head and shoulders I've seen in a long time. It wasn't anything I could get involved with, guys. Rotation patterns. Within channels we tend to see rotation patterns, and see this double bottom here? If we had a valid double bottom here, guys, I would be waiting for a 26.18. Now unfortunately we don't, but I would be waiting for a pullback for the 26.18, and this would have provided a very nice amount of reward for 107 for probably, well, depending where your entry was. It's not valid, but my point is that we could have very easily seen that retest just here. So while there's no opportunity right now, we still may see the market come back down for another test and still provide us with another opportunity to get involved long. I do talk about this is a very, very profitable strategy if you can catch one of these channels forming. I gave an illustration in the educational material. I think one of them earned something like 300 pips over 2 days, something like that. They can be very, very profitable, and after news events or when we violate major structure, we tend to see these big rallies, don't we? And this is where they form when we get these bigger breakout patterns. So we'll take a look at the 5 as well. On the 5 there's nothing here. Nothing here for me, guys. Let's just go back to the 240. Yeah, so I'm going to be waiting for another retest of this zone and a potential double bottom, some form of entry. Any questions on the euro yen? We will move that out of the way. And let's take a look at what's going to be next. Okay, Euro New Zealand's next. So this was the workings out. We were looking at a potential flag pattern here. I don't think it's going to be valid anymore. Let's go and look at the dailies. Okay. Look at the rallies we've seen. Big bullish candle here. This was our structure high just here, and you can see we've had a confirmed break above. Oops, a confirmed break above, close above here. RSI is massively overbought there at 92, and as we zoom out and look left, this was the next structure level. So we're not at the very highs that we've seen for the past 3 years, but we are at this structure level here, here and here as well. So with the RSI confirmation, we could actually see a retracement here. Bigger picture here though, guys, I would expect us to go higher and retest this higher structure level. We know that we've got this very big breakout pattern just here. Let's take a look at the 240 though. The euro rejecting the highs now. Yep, we've seen quite a lot of big spikes, and we've seen a lot of structure holes now. We've got some big pin bars. We've got a big one I think on the Aussie dollar CAD. I know we've got a big one on the Aussie dollar. The euro Aussie 222 pip pin bar we've got there. So RSI confirmation on a lot of these pairs. We've just seen so much directional movement, so many structure levels violated, that this is kind of the last push. And then we got the rejection candles, and we could see some rotations here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look as though any of them have set up any types of head and shoulders, double tops, anything like that. But it will good to see the market eventually run out of steam, and then we'll start to see maybe some structure-based trading kick back in and see some winners. Euro New Zealand on the 240. Not too much here. A great big bullish candle. This just isn't moving in a way that's going to provide anything for me. Nothing at all here, so I don't know whether we're going to see bullish or bearish breakouts here. It's a real shame this hasn't produced anything. What I would say is just look down here. We're failing to make new lows, and we could see the market turn and go higher. But there's absolutely nothing here that I would be able to trade. Let's go to the 15. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Just nothing here for me. We'll take a look at the 5 as well. Just nothing. Nothing, guys. So it's one to watch. See if this does turn into anything. But for now, I'm going to move that one out the way as well. If you do have any questions, just put them in the chat. Euro Aussie. We do have something to talk about here. We spoke about this on the last webinar, how we had the cipher pattern, and it did come within a few pips of targets. Going to delete that off now though, because we don't need it anymore. And we will look at the daily time frame. Oops, sorry guys, didn't mean to blind you there. There we go. There we go. That white screen hurts your eyes. We've got a couple of tweezer tops up here. We spoke about this yesterday, how there was a resistance level just here, and we'd had the move lower. There wasn't any opportunity here for me though, because structure for me reads like this. And then we've come up to this zone. So unless there's a rotation pattern up here like a double top, I don't have any real bias as to which way the market is going. Let's go and take a look at the 240. Here on the 240 we do have a swing in the market, a directional move. And we do have, no we don't, this isn't valid. If I do that, guys, and I put a structure level on just here, you can see that this test just here did come down to test the closes of the candles. So it means we are not coiling, and so the bottom here is not going to be valid for a wedge or a triangle. So that is not going to look like that. Okay, up here, if I move this to up here, this level here did not retest the highs. So this is not going to be a valid wedge, it's not going to be a valid triangle. Unfortunately, it means that it's not going to be anything that I can trade. Let's go and take a look at the 60. Here on the 60. You had a winning Gartley pattern here, X to A to B, B to C, CD completion up there. Well done if you traded that. Looks as though you got target 1 and target 2s. Let's go and take a look at the 15. On the 15, it did produce a double top. If you're a 2618 trader, we hit the 61.8 fib. You may have sold the market. I do not trade 2618s by themselves, so it's not something I'm interested in. X to A to B, B to C, CD completion for another pattern, for another advanced pattern. These patterns are consolidation patterns. We tend to see them in consolidation. So now that we're starting to see several of these, we could see the market turn into some form of consolidation. We're in consolidation, in my opinion anyway, on the euro dollar. We'll take a quick look at the 5. You may have another pattern this way. X to A to B. You'd have to come down here and back up. So consolidation, guys. Any questions on the euro dollar? We're flying through these currency pairs. We'll come back to the pound Aussie. Pound yen did have an at market potential entry, but I'm staying out of pound pairs. So we know that we were looking at the bigger move. You can see that on the 240 we came down for that valid double bottom. We put in a higher high, higher close, sideways movement. We could see the move up to that 38.2, even a little bit higher here up to that structure level. Just going to take a look at the 60. We did have something. It may have been on the 15. So there was a double top up here, confirmed break below, close below, pull back for 2618. We've come down for a retest of this area. This is what I was looking at, X to A to B, B to C, CD completion, this pattern down here. Now if you're still trading the pound and you believe that we are going to go higher and complete the harmonic move, the big harmonic move up to this 382 or even a little bit higher, then you could look at this as an aggressive entry. So you had a move higher, a pullback, a move higher. You could look for that pullback just here. Use the pattern as the entry. First target's a retest of the highs, and then I would hold second targets up at this 382 level just here. So you do have a potential entry there on the pound yen if you're being a little bit aggressive there and you're looking at the market going higher. If not, then you have, from the look of it, a double bottom forming here. You can see we've come down into the wicks just here. We've formed a double bottom. Was there RSI confirmation? This is a pound pair, so you only need to be oversold at below 30, and we were 26. You've got divergence. You've got a valid double bottom entry right now. If you get a confirmed break above, close above this level, guys, look for a pullback for a 2618. So you're looking for that 61.8 fib to buy it up. This would be your risk. Stop goes an ATR below the lowest point, which is 8. So that would be there. So this would be your risk. Again, I would play for a retest of the highs for first targets. And then hold second targets. If not, as I say, wait for the pattern. So a few opportunities there on the pound yen to get involved with that potential long trade. Again, for me personally, I'm just going to be waiting, guys. I'm going to be waiting. The pound has been playing with me the last few weeks. You guys are pretty much all part of the syndicate, so you know how it's been toying with me, and I'm just going to let the markets settle down. Just going to let them settle down. Let's go and take a look, if there's no questions on the pound yen, at the pound dollar. We spoke about last time this. Okay, we'll elaborate on this now. So when we look at a structure level that's been tested multiple times, we're looking for a reaction, guys. That's all trading is. We're looking at levels of structure where we think we're going to see a reaction, and we'd seen, I think, 7 or 8 structure holds here. We had confirmation. We had a double top. We had several double tops up here, so we shorted the market, and look at what happened. The market just rallied right through that structure level, 240 pips, and look at what we've done now. We're pulling all the way back. In fact, we've violated the level that I thought would hold. So let's take a bigger look at this on the dailies, and look, guys, look at what we did. This was our structure high just here, and we shorted in here for that double top and that structure hold. So guys, let me know, is this a structure hold or a violation? Is it a structure hold or a violation? Just type it in the chat for me. This was our structure highs here. Did we physically close, and was this a violation to the upside, or did we hold structure? Let me know. Stuart says violation. Anyone else? By my rules, a hold, yes. And the reason for that is this was the outside return just here. So we do need a confirmed break above, close above this level, but because of this big wick, this is the new high watermark, and we have no confirmation that we've closed above it. In fact, look at what we did. Great big spike. So you can look at this on the 240. This will probably be a fake break, but look at the size of this wick, guys. Clear sign of rejection. This was all the uncertainty that's happened over the past few weeks. This was Trump. This was the election, the new prime minister. This was everything to do with the euro. This was uncertainty. This was boom, and no, we're not violating this level. Come back down. We're going to hold this level. And look at what we're doing now. We're pushing lower. So we could actually see, in my opinion, quite a big move to the downside here. But I think we're going to start seeing some stability come back into these markets now. Look, this, just like a lot of the currency pairs that we've seen, a great big bullish candle followed instantly by rejection candles. And I'm looking at this as a fake break on the 240. We've got, this is the second or third potential fake break. And this was still a very nice opportunity for us to sell the market when we did, and it would be nice, in my opinion, to see the market come lower and to come to the point where we initially thought it would. Now, we obviously got stopped out of this trade, but you know, I'm very big on going back over trades and looking what the outcome was. It helps you learn, it helps you gain knowledge on what, because that's what trading is, isn't it? What happened in the past may happen in the future. So understanding that this fake break and the great big daily hold and the fact that in the next few days we could see a retest of these lows gives us confirmation that when we were in this big flag pattern and we were we had the confirmation, we'd held structure, we were breaking out the channel, we were 100 pips up, and then Trump tweeted and we got stopped out within the hour. What's nice is that we could actually see this come down to hit targets, and so we would have been right with the entry, we would have been right with targets. Unfortunately, this may have been a trade where the news got us. So I'm very much up on going back over the trades and analysing the outcome of them. That was also one of the reasons why I initially started recording trades, so that I could go back over them and watch them again and understand that, did I do something wrong? Was it just a loser, or was there something out of my control? Time will tell, won't it, over the next week or so, what happens with this. If we look at the 60, there's just nothing here, guys, just nothing. This was obviously our structure level, and if we do violate this level down here, I think then that we will actually start to see the market come lower. Nothing I can trade. Again, I'm very happy to stay out the pound pairs. You've only got to look at the big spikes and the potential fake breaks that we're seeing in 2 or 3 currency pairs. I'm quite happy to stay out. Stay out. We'll look at it next week. Get Trump to email you before he tweets. I did say in the last webinar, if anybody knows him, give me the heads up. I exit all my positions. Every tweet, I mean, news, you know, news works both ways. It can go in your favour and it can go against you. Unfortunately, lately, a lot of the news has gone against us. So nothing on the pound Aussie, guys. We'll take a look at the lower time frames. Just nothing here I can trade. And this wasn't a valid breakout. It's a little bit of structure. I just think we're going to see a break to the downside. So let's put that back in its spot, and we will take a look at what's the next one. Yeah, we'll take a look at the pound dollar. And again, if you guys have any anything that you're looking at here, please let me know. Okay, on the dailies. Okay, structure level in at the close of the candle and the wicks, and we are at this level of structure. Now I don't have enough data loaded, but there was more structure looking left. Just before I drop down the time frames. Okay. Trading is all about looking for a reaction, and we've seen a lot of bearish movement here, and then sideways movement. So this is going to be an opportunity to buy or sell depending on what your preference is. Based on structure, I think we're going to see a bullish move, but I'm out of this because I'm waiting for the pound to settle. So as we drop down to the 240, this is what I looked at. We had a valid double bottom here. We also had a pullback, the double bottom, a violation to the upside. So I'm just going to remove these structure levels. If I put structure level on just here, which was the top of our V point, the top of the double bottom, then you can see just here we now have a confirmed break above, close above. That meant you could then enter a 26.18 trade, and you can see price just spiked down and you would have been filled. So my bias here, guys, is still long. I still think that we're going to see a move up to this level just here, but I'm staying out the market. Let's go and look at the 60, and this is just ugly here on the 60. It's just consolidation. There's nothing really that's tradable for me here. You do have a potential channel. You may see this better on the 240. Yeah, you can see the channel here on the 240, and see this level just down here. If we drop to the 60 and you look for some form of rotation pattern, it didn't quite give you a double bottom. We didn't quite come down to retest. But we'll wait and see. It would be nice if our prediction was correct on the pound dollar and we saw the move higher, and on the pound yen. The euro pound as well, guys, we were correct with the prediction. We went up to retest those structure highs. So that's the 6th trade. I did say this at the start of the webinar, but that's the 6th trade in a couple of weeks that just stopped us out by a couple of pips and went on to hit structure highs or targets. there was about, I'd have to double check, but I think that was about 500 pips. That was about 500 pips of trades we were in that just stopped us out by 2 pips. You want to know where the drawdowns come from? That's where it's come from. Morning, Cody. Good morning to you. Here on the 15, just nothing. It's just junk in my opinion. Take a look at the 5. And nothing here on the 5. So we will see what happens with the pound. We'll move that one out of the way. We've done quite a few pairs, Cody. We've done 4, 8, 9. I think we've done 9. Just as a reminder, I'm not in any pound trades. I'm waiting till the market settles down. The only thing we were looking at was the pound yen. Can't enter it, but we had a valid double bottom down here. And look, guys, we've now had the breakout. We were looking at 26.18. And we were also looking at an advanced pattern which you could have used for the big continuation, and you could have held second targets for a retest of that 382 based on the harmonic move. Everything else we've spoken a lot about. Really about we've had quite a few fake breaks. We've had the Euro New Zealand, I think, was one. We had the Euro Aussie. We had the Aussie dollar CAD, where we put in a great big pin bar, and really just saying that we could now start to see some stability. We've reached those structure highs, those 5 or 6 year highs, or those 10-year lows, and we started to see rejection candles with the RSI confirmation. And come next week, I think we're going to start to see some stability. But not too much out there for me. So it's the pound dollar. The next one, New Zealand yen. New Zealand yen, okay. Here on the New Zealand yen, we spoke about last time this being a potential flag, and we did come up to retest the 382, but just let me know what we did, guys. We had all the rules met here, apart from when we hit the 382, we violated structure, invalidating this potential flag. And you can see that even though we got the breakout to the downside, price went higher. So this is a great illustration of why, again, we wait for confirmation. We wait for the 382 to be tested, we wait for structure to be tested, and we wait for the confirmation candle, and we didn't get that, and so it kept us out of that losing trade. Let's go and look at the dailies. Bigger picture here is we are looking bearish. This was the 3-year lows. I'm just going to have to load some more data on here, guys. Well, look at that. More than 3-year lows. This was 6-year lows. So you can see that we did put in a lower close candle. This is the lowest point we've been for 6 years. I won't bother loading any more data. It'll just take too much time. Let's go and look at the 240. If you're still looking at the market coming lower, then you have a move lower, a pullback. So this is your entire outside return. You had a move lower, and now you're seeing a pullback. So you could look at the first chance entry, which is where we look for our 2 rotation patterns. You could look for a lower close within the candle bodies, or the last chance entry, which again would be rotation patterns. So as we drop down, we'll take a look at the 60. Is this going to be valid for a breakout pattern? We draw it on the closes of the candles, and we draw it out on the closes of the candles. So 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. We have not had the 4th touch, have we, guys? No 4th touch. And based on my rules, so if we go to the 240, we've highlighted the wicks. So when we drop down a time frame, this is the area where we typically when we typically reverse, it's within the wicks, and the 4th touch will be up in this zone. What also do you notice up here, guys? Let me know what you notice. Just while you're typing that in, I'm going to throw a fib on from our swing high to swing low. We are going to hit a 61.8 fib if we come up to that level. Pay close attention to the arrow. 6,900 psychological number. So our fourth touch could come into structure. We could see structure held. We could see that psychological number hold. And we then could see a reversal. As a minimum, a retest of the lows. We may even see the extension. I'd have to load some more data. This may be just a currency pair though, where I only play for a retest of the lows, because we are at 6-year new lows, and I'm not overly confident about playing for extensions or for trend continuation when we're at an area where we've not tested for 6 years, a minimum of 6 years. I'd have to load more data. It might be 10 for all I know. Cody says there is a similar setup on the New Zealand dollar. Okie dokie, we'll go take a look at that. Also Cody, just one other thing we were looking at on the euro yen, great big potential flag pattern or a Gartley pattern, and we were looking to see if the market would come down into this structure level here and give us a double bottom as an entry so we could get long. Look down here at the double bottom, look at the double top, look at the head and shoulders. This is a sign when we start to see rotation patterns at either end that we're entering a channel. So if we do get a pullback to here, look for a rotation pattern and a chance to get long. Just move the New Zealand yen out of the way. New Zealand dollar then, Cody says similar setup. So let's go and look at the dailies. Okay, right down here, the lines on the close of the candles and the wicks, and we zoom out, we are at 3-year lows again, and look at what we've done. Big bearish momentum candle and a great big rejection. Well, it's not a rejection candle, but we've got a long wick and we've actually held structure. We've had the RSI confirmation, massively oversold at 10. So like I mentioned, I think we may start to see some stability come back into the markets. Let's go to the 240. A great big bearish candle, but is this forming in a way that may offer me an entry to get short? Well, there's going to be nothing here on the 240. We'll see if there's anything on the 60. On the 60, it's looking ugly. I like to see nice fluid harmonic movement from one side to the other, and you can see we had this move here, then we retraced, we went higher, then it was a very quick retracement to this side. It's not moving in a way that I would expect a flag pattern to. We typically see that nice fluid harmonic movement, so I personally don't think it's going to turn into a flag, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Let's go and take a look at the 15. And there's not a great deal here for me. Sorry about that, guys. Don't know if you can hear that baby crying. I've got the patio doors open into the back, and we've got next door neighbour, they've had a new baby. I actually think that might be one of the older kids. Don't know if you can hear it. But there's nothing here, guys. It's just consolidation. You may see a back pattern. You'd have to wait for a big retracement here. Oops. You may see that going into next week, but right now it's just another currency pair to watch and pay attention to. So we will put that to the side as well. And we are going through these pairs quite quickly. Just bring over the Aussie dollar just as another look. You can see that we're starting to break out. We'll see if this structure level holds and we get the retracement. We'll see if it offers an opportunity. Not done dollar CAD yet, no. We're running through these currency pairs quite quick, so we can do that. We can do that next actually, because I've pretty much been through all the currency pairs. Just going to take a look at the dollar CAD. Do you have a bias on the dollar CAD, Cody? By the way, guys, the Aussie dollar Swiss, I entered in here based on the structure level, stopped out for 15. I entered in here. We got the confirmation. My stop was just here. Look at what we did. Oh dear. This yesterday would have been a break-even trade for me. When we retraced, we came lower and then we started to come higher, I would have moved to break-even. So it's another trade where just stopped out. It didn't go on to win though. Let's go and look at the dailies. Sorry, Euro CAD. Dollar CAD, good grief. I've only had one cup of coffee this morning. Dollar CAD. That's not right. Dollar CAD on the dailies. Cody's looking to get short. Oh no, why is the dollar CAD not working? USD CAD. Huh. Okay. Okay, I know what's happened. Just give me a second, guys. I just need to reconnect to the server. Sometimes happens when it says still connected, but sometimes it doesn't. Just let me reconnect and it'll sort that problem out. Okay, reconnected now. Yeah, computer says no. It's not liking August, the computer. Uh-oh, we don't have any loading sign just there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, now all my screens are blank. Oh dear, okay. Let's close everything down. Do you want to save changes? I'm going to have to say no, because otherwise it'll save everything as blank. Yeah, it's Cody's fault. Cody's fault. Sorry guys, okay, let's try this again. Let's load it from the beginning. Technical difficulties. Oh dear. I've got my Pilates teacher, and she also does, she's a coach as well. She works on my back and neck. So I've got her coming at 11 to sort out my neck. You know, I've been suffering with that the last few weeks, guys. I just spent too long at the computer the last few months, and it's caused no end of problems. Okay, fingers crossed it's going to work this time. Come on, don't let me down. Don't let me down. Oh no, it's not connecting. I fear this may be the end of the webinar. It's not connecting. Okay, it's connected. Is the dollar CAD going to work, or is it going to chuck me out again? Let's try it. Dollar CAD. It's loading. It's loading. Hey, dollar CAD. Okay, sorry about that, guys. We bring back the chat as well, so I can see what you guys are saying. Blame. Oh, poor Peter. He's only here to make some money, and everybody blames him. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD. So we saw this loss of momentum we spoke about several times now in the webinar. We've seen the big bullish move. You could look for a shorting opportunity here, so we had a move lower, a pullback, a move lower. We're seeing a pullback, This is the outside return just here. We do have the RSI that's gone overbought at 85. We are at a psychological number, so I'm going to put a structure level in just where we're trading at today, and we have the 13300 psychological number. Do we have structure? Yes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And a few tests here as well. So I think this is what Cody's looking at. We have quite a nice area here where we've seen a hold in the past. Now, whether or not we would get a full retracement all the way down to this level and a continuation, I'm not too sure, because we're not trending very nice here. Even though we've had a 3-point move and a pullback, I'd be a little bit cautious as to where we'd play for targets. Maybe you want to be a little bit conservative, maybe play for the 130-100. Well, let's go and look at the 240 though. Is it producing any type of entry? Well, you could see a double top form here. You have got the RSI confirmation. Let's look left. Just let me go back out to the dailies, guys. Okay, so you would have to look for this double top within the wicks. Now the problem here is that we've actually got the closes of the candles here, but then a little bit up here you've got the closes of the candles as well, so it's not going to give you a defined structure level where you can look for that double top. So it's going to be a lower probability trade. In fact, if you look here on the 240, we're still violated up here, so it wouldn't be a double top I'm interested in, but you could maybe look for a 2618. Let's go and take a look at the 60, see what else there is. Okay, you do have the market potentially running out of steam here, so you had a move higher, a pullback, a move higher, a pullback, a move higher. You had what looks to be a double top up here, a pullback, move lower, and you could then look for a move lower. Let's go and check this out on the 15. In fact, you also had a triple test up here. Okay, the problem for me here is that here on the 15 you've now got a double bottom. Cody says, would I consider this a head and shoulders? Well, it certainly looks like one. The thing is, I actually need head and shoulders to come into a structure level. And here on the 240, we just haven't... well, you could make the case for it, to be honest, Cody. I like the structure level to be more defined, but you do have an area here that's had 4 tests. But if we look at most recent structure, this was the most recent structure, and we're kind of just in consolidation. You can actually make out here though. You see it there? We've got some internal structure. I actually like the structure to be more defined. In fact, you've got it there as well. So yeah, Cody, I wouldn't say that it's not a head and shoulders, to be honest. Yeah, I would say that this could turn in. It could be a head and shoulders. I like structure to be recent and not for it to be all over the place. But yeah, this could certainly be head and shoulders. What you haven't done is you haven't pulled back for a 2618 based on this double top. So if it's valid for you, you could actually be aggressive then, wait for the pullback. Stops would need to go above this double top just here, and you could then look for an AB equals CD pattern. That would complete down in this structure level just here. So yeah, that is a potential, to be honest, Cody. Let's go to the 15 again and look at this. It's a shame that this didn't produce a flag. But yeah, you can wait for that pullback and look at getting involved with a short. But yeah, the double bottom there concerns me. We could see a bullish move here on the dollar CAD first of all. So yeah, potential head and shoulders there. It's unlikely it's going to be an entry for me. But yeah, I do think that we could see a bearish move there. Nice find, Cody. Nice find. We'll start wrapping this up, guys. There isn't really too much to talk about. I'm really waiting for next week now. We'll take a quick look at the pound New Zealand. We did speak about that last time, about that 400 and nearly 500 pip move on the pound New Zealand. So you now have a confirmed retest or double bottom down here. It's confirmed because this was the V point, the high of the double bottom, and you've now had a break above, close above. The problem for me is that this double bottom really didn't come in at our structure lows. I would have expected price to come down to this level. Nevertheless, you are seeing a pop to the upside here. And nothing here, nothing. That great big bullish candle, and we're just seeing price come lower. Let's go to the 60. Cody says came right within the wicks on the 60. Is that on the dollar CAD, the head and shoulders, is it? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we're really looking at that, Cody. Yeah, we did. Yeah, but yeah, it does look like a head and shoulders, Cody. It won't be one that I will take, only because I do like it was internal structure. Just to go back to this, Cody, it's internal structure. I like to take them at the tops, which would have been up here, and as I say, we do have some tests here, but at the same time we have lots of times that this level has been violated. So yeah, it does look like head and shoulders. It just isn't going to be one that I will enter. So back on the pound New Zealand, guys. Nothing here, is there? I'm very happy just to wait. Just to wait. So we had a low, a low, a low, and we just, just moving sideways. Sideways movement. No problem. If you do take it, Cody, good luck. I'd say it's an opportunity, that's for sure. It just isn't one for me. Okay, on the 15. It's just ugly. Just nothing I'm interested in. On the 5. Just pure consolidation. Nothing. Alright guys, that's pretty much all the currency pairs. We rallied through all of those quite quick, and I'm really just waiting to see what the market does next week. Before we wrap it up, does anybody have any questions, any other currency pairs you would like to go over and take a look at? In fact, I will just spend a moment just looking at TradingView. There was actually something on the Aussie dollar New Zealand. If you guys can see it, there was a potential triangle. If we do break out and pull back, or actually ignore that, it happened at psychological number. That's why I didn't take it. 105 flat. But if you get the breakout and the pullback, that's something to look at. I'll do a quick scan on the 15, looking at different currency pairs. Aussie dollar yen. Not much there. Aussie dollar New Zealand, we just looked at that. The CAD yen, nothing. Swiss yen, Euro Aussie, Euro yen, Euro CAD. I love TradingView. It's great for just whizzing through the time frames and just seeing if there's anything that that sticks out at you. I only tend to take pairs outside of my portfolio when it's a decent opportunity, so I'm just looking for either breakout patterns or a decent trend continuation opportunity. So You can whiz through these quite quickly. Pound CAD. Cody, how did you get your stops for the dollar yen triangle? It was just a structure hold. We'd come up to that structure level. We'd held structure, and that was it. It was just simply a structure hold. I would have preferred a double top or a rotation pattern, but we didn't get it. Pound yen, pound Aussie, pound dollar, New Zealand Swiss, nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay, nothing. So guys, nothing out there. So just as a reminder, at the end of August, I think the 24th, I'm away for a week. Yeah, it'd be nice if we got a double top there, Cody. So a little bit more aggressive than I would have liked, but it is setting up. In fact, I'll run through this, guys. I'll run through this. I wasn't going to because it was sent out as a signal, but just before we wrap things up, I am short the dollar yen. And really, if we look at this here, structure lows are down here in this level, aren't they? So we have this level and this level, and you can see that we have not come into that level. And we have failed to put in a higher high, higher close candle. If we go down to the 240, this then is not a double bottom. So if it's not a double bottom, I then look at it as being a potential breakout pattern. And we know we have very strict rules. We have swings in the markets we're looking for. We have directional moves. When I sent out the signal, I did a video as well, and I talked about this 3-bar reversal. And look at this. This is a beautiful sign here that we're going to see a continuation higher. But look at what we did. We just didn't. We didn't see that continuation. So instantly I'm thinking, well, this could then be a low and tight flag or a triangle. So as we drop down the time frames, and I looked at the 60 and I redrew this out on the 60. So here it is on the closes of the candles, the closes of the candles, and we actually came up to this structure level just here. Okay, and we simply had a structure hold. Let's go down to the 15. Not a great deal here. You may get a potential head and shoulders. On the 5 range, I'll just go and take a look at that because the market was giving signs that we were running out of steam. So a double top up there would have been a preferred entry, but that didn't happen. But I got involved when I started to see this as well. And we'd had the break below, a bit of a pullback, and so I'm still looking at the market coming short here. So looking like this could be a triangle. It would be a very nice win if it came off. Targets as usual from the low of the pole to the high of the pole, looking for that 127. And if you zoom out and look at where targets come in at, they actually come in just below our structure level. In fact, our structure level was a little bit further down because there was that other area further left. So we were actually close, and so we could see, we could see a move to the downside here. Yeah, because it didn't form at structure. Also, there was something else. Was it on this one? Okay, yeah. A sign that we're entering consolidation and we could see a breakout pattern is when we start seeing rotation patterns. So double bottom, double top, double bottom. Didn't quite get it up here. It would have been nice to, but we didn't. So when I start seeing things like this, then it's a sign to me that we're entering consolidation. So this one was very similar to the, was it the euro yen, guys? We were looking at the big breakout pattern. Yeah, the euro yen, where we start seeing double bottoms and head and shoulders within what is going to be the potential channel. So that was just another sign. And again, if you go back and test that, you'll see time and time again we start to see double bottoms and double tops and head and shoulders appear in the most unusual places. Yeah, they appear where there's no structure, and it's just a sign that we're potentially entering consolidation. Consolidation is when we start to form a channel. So I do think we will get a breakout to the downside. Would be nice to finish the week on a winner if we can get the breakout. Alright guys, well thank you very much for joining me again. There may not be a live webinar tomorrow, I will see, only because there's not too much going on. I'm quite happy just for the market to settle down and just see what it's actually going to do. If there isn't, there will be a quick hit review video, and I will see you guys in the chat.